I decided to rewatch the MCU this year, and I'm already about 13 movies in. I've watched a couple of episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm not going to include this. So I'm going to rank Phase 1 and Phase 2 movies together, and after that, I'll do a Phase 3 ranking as well as a full ranking. Right now, at the 11th spot, I have Thor The Dark World. Now, when this movie initially came out, I actually did like it a lot, and I do love the characters. I love Loki, I love Thor, and I love the side characters, but the story just doesn't work for me. Malekith is a lackluster villain, and yeah, there's not much to say about this movie that you probably already didn't know. And in the 10th place, I have The Incredible Hulk, which kind of feels like the stepchild of the MCU. It feels connected, but it also feels completely disconnected. The only connection is the characters that have been showing up in the more recent movies and TV shows. The film itself isn't too bad. I did love the Battle of Harlem, and I did love the way the Hulk looked, but the story wasn't something memorable. And in ninth place, I have Thor. Now, this is a good origin stories of sorts. Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor. Loki is phenomenal, but there isn't really much going on that's memorable or that's fun. I do think that it's still better than The Dark World. In eighth place, I have Iron Man 3. Now, this movie, when it first came out, I was a little disappointed as I really wanted to see the real Mandarin. But now, knowing what happens in the MCU and understanding Travis a little better, this movie is not that bad. It's still fun. It's still a great Christmas movie. Still a good Iron Man movie, but not the best. Now, Iron Man 2 actually went up in my rankings. I think it's better than Iron Man 3, and that's simply because of all the Tony moments. I think Robert Downey Jr. has some of his best lines in this movie, and the story really isn't that bad. It also has one of the best Iron Man suit ups. And in the sixth place, I have Captain America, the first Avenger, another great origin story, another great film, one that I've watched more than just a handful of times. Chris Evans is fantastic as Steve Rogers, and the story is good. I would have loved more of Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull, but for what it is, it's a good origin story. Moving on to my top five. In my number five spot, I have Avengers Age of Ultron, which after a rewatch, I think I actually like this movie more than I originally did. I think it's really underrated. I think the introduction of Vision, the introduction of the Maximoff twins, and just the old Sokovia story is pretty good. Ultron lackluster, but James Spader is fantastic as Ultron. And in the fourth spot, I have the first MCU movie, Iron Man. Now, Iron Man is simply almost a perfect movie. It's a great superhero origin movie. It's a great superhero movie as that. But Obadiah Stane is a good film, but not that great. And I really wish we could have seen more of what his intentions really were and more of him. I know that some of these things do play a role later in the MCU, but for what it is, I don't like Obadiah that much. I do think the movie is pretty good. In the third place, I have Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think is the best origin story in both of these phases. It's just a great team up movie. These characters each have such a unique personality, and it's awesome to watch them interact. It's awesome to watch them get together, and I just love James Gunn's direction in this movie. It also has one of the best movie soundtracks ever, a soundtrack that I still listen over and over again. And in the number two spot, well, number two and number one might be interchangeable, but for now, at my number two spot, I have the first Avengers movie, which was just simply awesome. When I watched it in cinemas when it came out, it was phenomenal. I remember the cinema being packed. Everyone was so excited. Even people who weren't really Marvel fans or who didn't even watch some of the other movies, they were excited to see this team up. And yeah, I wish I could have placed it at number one, but my number one is Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which, in my opinion, is a perfect movie. From start to finish, I was invested. I loved the Shield story. I loved the Hydra story. I love Steve's story. I love the Winter Soldier story. I love how Sam came into the story. I love Nick Fury's story. Everything just feels so put together, well put together. The Russo brothers really created something great. It's not as funny as the other movies. It has its comedic moments, but it's just a great spy thriller, a great political thriller. It's one awesome movie. And yeah, the perfect Captain America movie. I'm gonna talk more about Civil War in my next video when I do Phase 3. But yeah, this has always been in my top 3 Marvel movies. I don't know if it will move down or up or stay in the same spot as I do the rest of the watch through. But yeah, let me know what you think is the best movie in Phase 1 and Phase 2 or just together.